Incredible, you guys. You guys do the robot with me. SOC says you guys do it so much better. It's incredible. Talking about the brain. We're in the brain shot therapy cleanse challenge. We're day 9. We're doing the nerve shifter, which is a miracle. Miraculously healing people, which is incredible when you think about how powerful that is what people go through with their health. To think, oh my God, this is incredible, you guys. David says too much truth. I know, totally. We're here, you guys. I'm excited to talk about the vagus nerves. All of it. We're in the Brain Saver books. Incredible. Right there. Nerve shifter, that's what we're doing. I want to read a couple things to you about it. Use the nerve shifter when you're feeling shaky or anxious. How many people are feeling shaky or anxious? And when you use this nerve shifter when you're feeling shaky and anxious, boom, boom, it's incredible. If you experience random spasms, twitches, tics, or shifting and moving pain throughout your body, I hear it all the time. I hear it from doctor friends. I hear it all the time. Twitches and spasms. AW, my patient has all these twitches. They can't get rid of them. We don't know what's wrong. We did MRIs. We did everything, CAT scans. We did all the different ultrasounds. We don't know why they're twitching. They're spasming. Why they're doing all this moving pain throughout their body. What is going on, AW? And I would tell them, cranial nerves, all this stuff about it. And that's what we're talking about today, cranial nerves. So if you're experiencing those kinds of spasms or twitches or anything like that, it's like, boom, nerve shifter time. Bring it on in. The thing is about the nerve shifter, it can work in that moment. I'll talk about how it does instant relief, and it can work also along the way. If you're doing the nerve shifter and that's what you choose and that's what you pick and you're doing it every day, the power of that brain shot therapy is just incredible. Like, it can build upon itself. That's what I wanted to tell you guys earlier, that it can build upon itself and build upon itself. And that's a big deal right there, because that's healing. That's actually moving forward. You're building upon itself, all of it. So here we go. When struggling with any kind of neurological onset or episode. Now, that's a big one right there. A neurological onset or episode. What does that mean? One, migraine coming on. Boom, get the nerve shifter out. Right? Twitches and spasms coming out of, like, getting out of control. Boom, get the nerve shifter out. Tingles and numbness that's happening. Get the nerve shifter out. So what it is like, if you got neurological symptoms and you feel an episode coming on of any kind of neurological problem, and you feel it coming on, and you're like, oh no, I'm going to be dealing with this again. This is why I went to 5 doctors. This is why I went to the specialist and the neurologist, and it's coming on again. Then you get the nerve shifter out. How incredible is that? Here's one right here. To break a nervous feeling about the moment you're in, like you're going to be going somewhere, you're meeting a friend, you're going to a wedding, you're going to a party, you have an appointment somewhere and you're nervous, you have a doctor's appointment and you're nervous, you have any kind of appointment, then you bring in the nerve shifter. How cool is that? To help calm restless legs syndrome, restless legs. And that's what people are going to notice, how incredible the nerve shifter is for restless legs and any kind of other issues. Some people are already saying, I'm sleeping better because of it. So Kimberly Ann asked the question, what is in the nerve shifter? You are looking at what's in the nerve shifter right here, but it's the specific combination and the amount that makes the incredible miracle happen. So it's the cilantro, the kale, the spinach, the parsley, the asparagus. By the way, asparagus can be called a spear, right? It can be called a shoot too. That's something. It can be called a stalk. So I'm just letting you know, but there's no difference. It's either or, right? Lettuce and the celery and the lime, when you put those together in a certain amount, in a certain order, and these ones, that's when it happens, which is incredible. So to break a nervous feeling, like I was talking about, how about this one? To calm your restless legs, and then how about this one? Before you go flying and taking a trip, a car trip, if you're nervous about a car trip, nervous about a plane trip. But these are just some reasons to use it. If you have anything neurologically going on and you feel like you need that boost, then you can bring in the nerve shifter. Now, this is part of the shifter family. 10 shots are in the shifter family, 10 different ones. This is the nerve shifter, but there's 9 other shifters. So there's 30 brain shot therapies in the Medical Medium Brain Saver books. Miracles is what they are. So if you don't know anything about the Brain Saver books, pick some up if you can. Amazon.com US, 40% off right now. $26, $29. It's incredible. There's 12 books in here in these 2 books. That's how big they are. So you guys, the website is working now, medicalmedium.com. You can see me on there live as we speak. I just want everybody to know we had some funny stuff happen, so we're back. So let's move into this a little bit. So we're in the Medical Medium Brain Shot Therapy. And we're doing the entry level. So I want everybody to know what this is. So if you just came on here and you don't know what's going on, this is a 10-day Brain Shot Therapy Challenge, Cleanse Challenge. That's free. Go to medicalmedium.com, download your free PDF to find your grocery shopping list. You are not too late. Even though we're day 9, tomorrow's day 10. So if you can be here for tomorrow for day 10, incredible. Just that one day can help change your life. Candace says, you and SOC have truly changed my life and saved me from a life of pain and misery. I no longer have RA or symptoms from chronic illness. The brain shots are taking my healing to a whole other level. Amazing. So glad you're here. I told you guys when I was in my office, and Spirit of Compassion was giving me the information, and I was just mind blown. And when you think about it, you know, and I knew you guys were going to get this experience because of what they are. Because Spirit of Compassion was saying it's instant relief. I'm like, incredible, incredible. This is how it works. Erica says, I find this shot works beyond what it says it helps. It does work beyond what it says it helps. And that's another thing too. The nerve shifter does really a broad spectrum of neurological problems. And what I love about the nerve shifter is it can give relief instantly to some symptoms while offering long-term relief happening with other symptoms. So what I like about the nerve shifter is if you drink it, it builds on itself and then not only gives you relief for, say, 1 or 2 symptoms or something that you're dealing with, but it gives you long-term relief because it builds on itself. So all of a sudden you're doing the nerve shifter for a couple of weeks and you're like, what is happening? And then life-changing results are happening in other areas, which is incredible all on its own. But the shifter shots can do that. You get 30 though. You got the stabilizers, the shifter shots, right? And you got the exposure shots. You guys know now you have the books and how incredible that is. Medical Medium Brain Shot Therapy offers instant relief because it goes into the blood vessels of the mouth, absorbs instantly, and heads to the brain as fast as possible. So it heads to the brain quick, but it isn't just that factor alone. It's the combination that nobody knew, science or research didn't know, or anybody else in health in the world and ever will, that the information that came from above is cilantro, spinach, kale, parsley, asparagus, lettuce, celery, and lime put together just right in the combination in the order makes it so that a certain group of neurons get the medicinal effect. What the brain shot therapies do is pinpoint groups of neurons for specific reasons and healing. That right there can't be done anywhere else. That's how incredible this healing tool is. Deborah said, my brain is feeling so much clearer from taking these shots. And that is so important because if that can happen for us, what does that mean? It means everything. Less doctor appointments, less stress, less everything. That gives us a hard time. Jenny Jen, I took the trauma shock and loss shot last night and it helped my back pain. I wasn't expecting that. That's how it works. It works like that because they're that powerful. And when you're dealing with potent medicine entering the brain really quick in certain regions, other things can start to improve. What happens is with that potent medicine that's going there and it's delivering there fast, and that's something too to think about, because the combination makes the absorbent power quick. When you have a quick reaction occur where it's driving to the brain and the brainstem fast, you can get reset and rewired fast. So what the brain shot therapies are doing is they're a therapy that's rewiring your brain. How incredible is that? A therapy that's actually rewiring your brain. And when you think about that, it's extraordinary, really. It's incredible. The healing shots of the medical medium brain shot therapy are tools that come from above. You guys know that from Spirit of Compassion. I talked about that in the last 8 days before today. These brain shots are composed of specific combinations of ingredients working together systematically for specific reasons that only a source above could know. Incredible. The relationships among these ingredients are intricate and unknown to anyone until now. This knowledge from above has remained untapped, but now it's out in the world. And it's incredible. If you guys share about it, put medical medium in front of it, like medical medium, obsessive thought shifter, medical medium, nerve shifter, so people know where they can get the rest of the information, which is volumes of information, so they can heal and not all of a sudden start switching the ingredients and doing all kinds of strange stuff. Chrissy says, where do we get the brain shot therapy? Chrissy, from the Brain Saver books. There's 2 of them right in front of you right here. Amazon.com US, 40% off right now, which is incredible. Or go to the library and get them for free from the library if you want. Head there and ask them, where are the Brain Saver books? But you can get them on Amazon. If you're somewhere else around the world, Book Depository and other things, you could also go to medicalmedium.com, sign up, watch the last 8 days of the Brain Shot Therapy Cleanse Challenge, and even partake in the ninth day today or tomorrow, the 10th day. How incredible. All right, you guys, we're in the entry-level cleanse. I just want to run that by you. Entry-level cleanse. 10 shots, 10 days. But here's the thing. 1 to 3 shots a day you can do. Like the nerve shifter. Here's my first nerve shifter. I'm going to do my second nerve shifter later. How about you guys? I'm going to do my third nerve shifter later. Alligator. So I'm going to do the third one later. So I'm going to do 3 shots. That's what I've been doing. So every day of this Brain Shot Therapy Cleanse Challenge, why do I say silly stuff? Every single day, I'm doing 3 shots. So that's what I'm doing. You can do 1 shot every day of the 10-day cleanse challenge. You can do 2 shots. You can do 3 shots. I'm doing 3. Now, this entry-level Brain Shot Therapy Cleanse, you have your choice of which shots you want to do. In the therapy cleanse, we're doing, I'm doing the ones that Spirit and I picked, but you can do the ones you want too. That's okay. We're in the entry level. Here's the cool thing. You can keep your foods and your diet and your whatever regimen that you're doing, whatever your routines are that you do, whether they're medical medium or something else, you can keep them all. And that's fine. And still do this challenge with us. That's the entry level. Robin Young says, I did the sleep and recharging stabilizer shot last night. What an amazing night I had. That is incredible. I'm so proud of you too for doing that and experiencing that. It's just incredible. Donna says it's curing my excessive hunger too. Well, there's a craving shifter. I mean, yeah, these can do so many things. Now, remember, 50 ounces of water minimum through the day. So it doesn't have to be right when you take your shot. So just pretend I just made the nerve shifter now and I'm going to send it down. Right? Bartender, give me another one. Right? And I just sent it down. I'm not going to do 50 ounces of water right now. I'm not going to dilute it. I'm not going to eat a whole bunch of food. I'm not going to go out and get a double cheeseburger. I don't eat double cheeseburgers. I'm not going to go out and eat that right when I sent that down. You can also make them all at once, store them in a jar with the lid if you really want. That's okay. Best to make them fresh, best to make them on the spot, best to make them right now when you make them each time. But you can also do that too. Make them ahead of time if you have to and do other things. What the brain shot therapy does is it gets to the brain stem, the neurons, and various areas of the brain, the emotional center of the brain too, gets there quick, and it starts to target and pinpoint areas that need help. It's almost like they find their way. They're driven by light. It comes from above, so it just goes to the brain in areas. It's a miracle. It's why we're having miracle results. How incredible. Debbie says, did AW say when the MM1500 will be restocked? It is in stock, so I don't know why they're doing that. Did you call the company? Because it's so strange. The MM1500 should be in stock, and it's 20% off. Incredible. So what you'll see out there, you guys, and I'll give you a rundown. We're going to talk about the vagus nerves and everything else in a second, but I'll give you a quick rundown on this. Why is the MM1500 great? It's great because it saves you money. What I'm noticing is everybody's all pumped up about the MLM and affiliate marketing juicers that are out there now that have all this money behind them and all that, and the sharks have gotten into the medical meme community, and everybody's buying these other juicers. Fine, buy them. It's great, but you're going to spend double the money on produce long term. So you lose money as you're using the juicer. The difference is with the MM1500 is the high compression, and what's happening, it's a masticating, slow masticating juicer, so the nutrients get preserved. And what people don't realize, when you use the other juicers that are like breaking into the community, fine and dandy, right? What no one realizes, it's not a slow masticating juicer. It's not a slow cold press juicer. So what you're doing is you're losing nutrients. The other problem is you're not squeezing enough juice out of the pulp. And so what you're doing is you have to buy more. So that means if you want to juice with your juicer, it's all great and all, but you'll have to buy more kale, more parsley, more everything. And the cost of food is going up. The reason why I backed Omega and I work with them is because the concept of food going up in price like it is, and the concept of being able to save people money while they use their medicine machine was a big deal to me. Because the chronically ill, they're not made of money, and so saving money wherever they can is critical. So be careful unless you're rich. If you're totally rich and you want to just throw produce down the chute of your machine and all that, and it doesn't matter how much of it you buy every second, then don't worry. Just don't worry about the 1500, I guess. But I'm just saying that's what this was. 20% off. Has the high compression, slow masticating juicer to preserve the nutrients, and it pays for itself. So that's why it was all about that. I haven't talked about it in months and stuff and all that, and I've been so busy with the books and everything else. It's good for you guys to know. If you did buy another juicer, just so you know that down the road you could save up, get the MM1500, and save money, and it'll pay for the juicer you once bought that didn't save you money. So it'll pay for that plus your new juicer. Juicer talk. Okay, let's get into it. Vagus nerve. Your inflamed cranial nerve section inside the book is epic. I say that because it's advanced, it's ahead of research in science, it's mind-blowing, and it basically tells the story of why we're dealing with so many neurological conditions. So if you're anybody that has struggled with neurological fatigue, like fatigue or anything else in your life, the information in this section is it's so important, it's just epic. So let's go into it a little bit. Inflammation of the cranial nerves play a large role in chronic mystery illness, and that's what medical research and science doesn't know. That the cranial nerves being inflamed, the subtle inflammation that they don't realize, plays a role in all of our neurological symptoms. This is a huge deal right here. I also say mystery illness is a much broader category than anybody realizes. You know what I was talking about earlier, you guys, you can get a diagnosis of vertigo, but you don't have an answer or know why you have vertigo. A doctor can give you a diagnosis for vertigo, but not give you the answer that it's your vagus nerves being inflamed and why they're inflamed. So not only, unless they took medical medium info, right? But not only when you get that vertigo diagnosis or feeling like you're balanced, that mystery balance issue, you've been through all the MRIs, you got all the CAT scans, you got all the brain scans, it's still a mystery, but you got this bit dizziness and balance issues and vertigo and all that, even if it's temporary in your life. The point is they can give you the label of vertigo or Meniere's disease, but they can't give you how, why, or where. It doesn't exist in the medical world, both alternative and conventional. Same thing if they give you a Bell's palsy diagnosis or a fatigue diagnosis or an anxiety diagnosis, they still can't give you the answers to why you have it. And they don't know it's the cranial nerves being inflamed or which cranial nerve is inflamed that can give you the anxiety. Anyone who has struggled with any chronic health issue knows this isn't how it works. You guys know, if you've been to the doctor, you know that when you get an answer of a diagnosis, or not even a diagnosis, maybe you didn't even get one and you're on your 10th doctor, but when you do get a diagnosis, it's still not an answer to why or how. So you're being handed a label for your set of symptoms. That's not the same as receiving answers about why those symptoms are interrupting your life in the first place. So that's important to know, and I wanted to run that. When I read this section, there's so many places to talk about, but that was a really important place. Cranial nerve answers. Your cranial nerves include your vagus nerves, your trigeminal nerves, and your facial nerves, among others, right? Hypoglossal nerve, that's another one right there. Olfactory nerve, right? Olfactory nerve, and then your optic nerves. You got all your cranial nerves. These are the places that get inflamed, and then we have problems. We end up with the brain fog. We end up with the twitches, spasms. We end up with the tingles and numbness. We end up with the migraines. We end up with the trigeminal neuralgia. We end up with the Bell's palsy. We end up with all kinds of different things. Twitching nose, blurry eyes, where your eye doctor's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with your eyes. You got the blurry eyes, right? So whatever happens, the cranial nerves get this mild inflammation, and within this mild inflammation, we end up with symptoms. We go to doctor, and nobody knows why we're sick. Viral nerve and brainstem inflammation. So let's cover that for a couple of minutes too. Most people with chronic illness don't have physical injuries to the cranial nerves. Keep that in mind. So if someone has a chronic mystery symptom or condition, they don't have an injury to the vagus nerve itself. And what you'll find out there that people say vagus nerve. And so every time I say vagus nerves to people, they go, oh, you mean vagus nerve. So I have to flip it sometimes so that they'll understand. I run into this all the time. But what people don't realize of the vagus nerve, it's vagus nerves. There's two of them. And so when someone has a vagus nerve injury, that's only one of the vagus nerves. If someone has a vagus nerve inflammation, it's only inflammation of one nerve, not two. If someone has inflammation to the vagus nerves, it's both nerves, but there's two nerves. It's important to know. And what you'll find out there, and all the lectures that I've had to do with the vagus nerves and the information, the books and everything, what's so crazy is when you talk to somebody that's like trying to learn about the vagus nerves out there and everything, they'll never say nerves. They think it's one only. I had someone try to lecture me pretty recently about that, saying that they knew all about the vagus nerve. I'm like, there's two, right? And they're like, no, there's not. I was like, yeah, there is. There's two. So what is this mysterious inflammation that happens in our cranial nerves that actually takes us down to a situation where we can be in our darkest hour? And I mean that. Here's the crazy thing. When we're dealing with chronic sickness, you guys, for the most part, the cranial nerves play a role, especially when it's neurological on any level. This is where people can be literally on their hands and knees and praying to God. Like, God, I'm dying. Please help me. This is when people really suffer. They have severe fatigue. That's your cranial nerves. They have pain in their face. That's their cranial nerves. They have pain in their ears. Cranial nerves. Severe tinnitus, ringing in their ears. So bad they can't sleep at night. That's their cranial nerves. Burning tongue, burning mouth. So bad that they can't rectify it. They can't find help. That's their cranial nerves. People out there have been pushed off the cliff because their suffering was so great because their cranial nerves were problematic. But no doctor or psychiatrist or healer knew it was a cranial nerve causing that problem, but there was a problem even underneath it all, the true cause to why the cranial nerve was inflamed. See how advanced this information is? It's incredible. And a lot of people suffered greatly because of trigeminal nerve being inflamed, facial nerve being inflamed, optic nerve being inflamed, hypoglossal nerve being inflamed, cochlear nerve being inflamed, all of it. Like suffered greatly to the point of can't function, can't work. They have 50, 100 symptoms. It all adds up. They've been to 20 doctors, 100 doctors, all because of mysterious inflammation in the cranial nerves. When you think about how much that affects people and their suffering and struggling, oh my God. Let's just talk about it. Anxiety is a big one right there. There's people with crippling anxiety. I see stories all the time. I hear stories all the time. I have doctors contact me all the time about crippling anxiety cases. And we're dealing with cranial nerves with the crippling anxiety. Of course, you guys know in the medical meme books, there's anxiety chapter. In the Brain Saver book, that's mind-blowing. When you read that, it's like, whoa, it's so detailed. So let's go into a little bit the tree branch effect right here. The cranial nerves where inflammation can be the most common are the trigeminal nerves, facial nerves, the vagus nerves, right? The vestibulocochlear nerve, right? Optic nerves, right? Olfactory nerves, right? Hypoglossal nerves, right? Anyway, all of these can be inflamed. The tree branch effect, that's what Spirit of Compassion calls it. As I mentioned earlier, our cranial nerves occur in pairs, which is why I refer to them in the plural here, which is why I refer to them that way. You'll often hear these nerves referred in the singular, that is the vagus nerve, as though it is one single rope of a nerve running through your body. I say vagus nerves in the books because there is a pair of vagus nerves branches stemming from your brainstem, just as there is a pair of trigeminal stemming from the brainstem. Cranial nerves are like tree branches, you guys, and it's pretty cool to actually see them like tree branches, which can make symptoms complicated and which also spares us from even greater pain or debilitation. The human body is designed specifically so that if one nerve or one branch of a nerve is damaged, whether viral inflammation or car accident or something else, that you have the other nerve to survive. So what research and science doesn't know, alternative medicine doesn't know, is we were designed with two nerves to protect us so that if we get injured, maimed, hurt, or inflamed through viral infection, or inflamed and irritated from complications of toxic heavy metals, that we have another nerve. That's why when we get Bell's palsy, it's usually one nerve that goes down, and then our face goes like that. Jackie B says, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I've had ear issues for a long time, ringing, pain, etc. You can get the pain in the ears here. That's the cranial nerves. You can get the pain so bad in the ear, in the weirdest places. And you go to all these different ears, nose, and throat doctors, and they don't know what it is or what's going on. They give you an antibiotic, send you out the door. They can't tell if it's otitis media. They can't tell anything. I mean, it's incredible information though about this through this book, and you'll see how cool it is and how much is in here. If someone says, "Oh, he doesn't know his books" or anything like that, by the way I read them or anything, you have to realize that I took the information down word from above. I had to learn it just like you guys have to learn it. It's 2 huge, massive books of complicated, incredible, advanced medical information. I am a student of Spirit of Compassion's information. I'm a student and messenger. I've written the books with my own right hand from getting the information from above, but I still have to memorize and study and become an expert. The books are that fiercely filled with incredible information. Mary Kay says, I've only ever heard people refer to them as the vagus nerve, never vagus nerves until you. And mark my words right here, you will eventually see it out there being referred to as vagus nerves. As soon as the vagus nerve experts, so they say, learn the truth from these books and hearing people talk about it, they'll then reset themselves and they won't cite it back to the books. Okay, the vagus nerve insights. What you'll hear called the vagus nerve is not just one thick nerve. This is mind-blowing if you want to know a really powerful vagus nerve piece of information here. What you'll hear called the vagus nerve, when it's really vagus nerves, is not just one thick nerve that runs from one end to the other in a perfect line. The vagus nerves are a larger pair of nerves that leave the head region and travel down to the torso, right? But get this. Check this out. You won't hear this anywhere. The vagus nerve size and reach make them more complex than shorter cranial nerves, which is why they deserve specific attention here. And get this, it's coming right now. You'll be blown off your seat if you want to know vagus nerve information about the vagus nerves. Susan Oren says, I've spent 25 years going to an ENT doctor and dentist, chiropractor appointments. Crazy, I'm finally learning this today after all these years. I had to learn it too, but I have to learn the information in all 8 books, the medical medium books. It's a lot of information to remember. It's a lot of information to learn. I'm a student and a messenger. The vagus nerve grapevine. Check this out. We can think of the vagus nerve structure as a grapevine. Like the other cranial nerves, the vagus nerve grapevine is split in 2 as it leaves the brainstem, with those 2 main vines branching off on their own pathways. One vagus nerve vine branch could be inflamed while the other vagus nerve vine branch is not inflamed. I mean, that's insane when you think about it. Because think about how powerful of a piece of information that is. That's why you have a symptom here, but you don't have one here. That's why you got a problem here, but you don't have one here. That's why things are moving too. One vagus nerve vine branch could be inflamed while the other vagus nerve vine branch is not inflamed. This is a critical part of the human design that protects us. It means that if one of the vagus nerves is completely inflamed or damaged, there may still be a chance of survival while the other vagus nerve shares its functions. Science and research doesn't know that yet. They share their functions. That is not known. They don't have a study. They don't have a test. They don't have any ability to know that. Medical research and science, here it says that in here. Interesting. Medical research and science haven't yet discovered all aspects of the vagus nerves. That came from above. That's not my words. That's the words of Spirit of Compassion. Specifically made me write in that moment, medical research and science haven't yet discovered all aspects of the vagus nerves. There are still new discoveries to be had. One future discovery is vagus nerve regeneration, VNR, that is, certain parts of the vagus nerves can regenerate and regrow themselves if the conditions are right. Medical research and science will also discover that the anatomy of the vagus nerves is not definitive. This is where it really gets crazy. Pink says, yes, It's a lot of information. It's like learning to be a neurologist. It's mind-blowing. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. Because I know somebody complained and says he doesn't even know his own books. It's like, if I was another health author, my book would be this big. It'd be one book every 3 years, 2 years. It would be one concept you hang your hat on in the book. The concept would be a theory from some study that didn't work out right. There'd be some keto stuff and some eat better stuff in there. And then I would take $500,000 and shove it into getting the book out there through like the system, because that's what they do. And Medical Medium, we don't do that here. But here's the thing. This is actually, but with this information, neurologists and science research don't know yet. So you're getting like a class in this, a training and education in this, but science research doesn't know this information yet. Okay, ready? This is really cool. Medical research and science will also discover 100 years from now that the anatomy of the vagus nerves is not definitive. Surgeons don't even know this yet. The vagus nerves are not designed the same way in every person. For example, the vagus nerve branches don't completely connect in the torso for everybody. Oh my God. So the vagus nerve branches don't completely connect in your torso the same way somebody else for everybody. In some people, the two vine branches merely cross over and touch each other, not actually connecting. That's advanced medical research and science. I remember when Spirit of Compassion was making me write that part down, and I was just like, what? The vagus nerves also vary in length in each person. What? The vagus nerves, think about that, also vary in length in each person. Melanie says, oh my God, that's why I have restless legs only on one side. Correct. The vagus nerves also vary in length in each person. I could read that line 100 times because that is so mind-blowing. It is unbelievable. You can go to any course or class. You can go to medical school and they won't teach you that there. You can spend $1 million in the best medical school there ever was, some Ivy League medical school, and they won't teach you that bit of piece of information right there. If anything's glitching, there will be a replay. You can watch this again at medicalmedium.com under Brain Shot Therapy video replays. You have to find that section on medicalmedium.com. Click that part and you can watch it. The replay. Okay, this discovery is going to be forced upon the medical industry due to robotic surgeries. What? Where robots programmed to perform surgery end up injuring patients' vagus nerves because the calculations are so unpredictable from person to person. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Like, what? I forgot that was even in here. And I've gone over these books day in, day out, 20 hours, 22 hours a day. This discovery of the vagus nerves varying in length in each person is going to be forced upon the medical industry due to the robotic surgeries, where the robots programmed to perform surgery end up cutting, injuring patients' vagus nerves because the calculations are so unpredictable from person to person. Can you believe that? My God. A health author can hang their hat on that one little discovery right there and write a book about it and put it out there. That's how, just that concept alone. And there's hundreds of these incredible pieces of truth in these books. This chapter blows me away. Medical communities are going to start finding out that the vagus nerve's length, growth size, and directions of travel are not as cookie cutter as previously assumed. How do you like that? But don't worry, once these books are out, which is now, some vagus nerve experty person who does exercises or whatever is going to take that piece of information and teach it in their classes and never tell one of their students where it came from and originated from. Please share these challenge videos, by the way. The vagus nerves are made up of tiny strands and strings of nerve cells that run the length of the nerves. A vagus nerve is not just one solid nerve. It's a complex weave of nerve cells. This is similar to how the other cranial nerves work, although not identical. This complexity works in our favor. When vagus nerve inflammation occurs, it may affect multiple strings within a vagus nerve, yet not every single string of the nerve. No one knows that part ever. Natalia says that's how medical discoveries happen, by injuring people. Brilliant. Brilliant. No, brilliant. That's incredible. You're over there on YouTube? That's how medical discoveries happen, by injuring people? Oh, you're asking. Yes. For instance, like the robotic surgeries, the surgeries that they're developing, they're building and perfecting, trying to perfect robots for surgeries. But they've had to put the robots aside because robots are also really dangerous. What happens with the vagus nerve, they're going to discover the vagus nerve is different length than everybody because they're going to accidentally be cutting the nerve in half through robotic surgeries. So when a patient's on the operation table, the robot is going to accidentally, when it cuts, it's going to cut someone's vagus nerves in half, not realizing that each person's is a different length. That's how they're going to learn about the different lengths, through a catastrophe like that. Epic, epic. Carolina says, what page are we reading from? 102, page 102 of Brain Saver right here. Not Brain Saver Protocols. Medical communities are going to start finding out that the vagus nerve's length, growth, size, and directions of travel are not as cookie cutters previously assumed. The vagus nerves are made up of the tiny strands I talked about, which is another incredible thing. This means inflammation does not take over an entire vagus nerve. I talked about that. Okay, here we go. It also means symptoms can move and shift. So vagus nerve cells are in these strands. So one section of your vagus nerve can be inflamed, like through Epstein-Barr or some kind of viral neurotoxin that we talk about in all the medical meaning books, that advanced information that Spirit Compassion gave us for years now in these books. You can have this inflammation in half your vagus nerve, causing symptoms to vary and actually causing neurological symptoms to make you feel like you're going insane and the doctor doesn't understand you. I can go on, you guys. There's so much information in here about the vagus nerve and cranial nerves. You guys, we're in the Brain Saver book. We're in the Brain Saver Challenge. Let's start making the nerve shifter shot. I think that's someplace we can go. We talked about a lot of different aspects of it. We're in shifter shots. Let's read about shifter shots for a couple of seconds because that's what we're doing. The world is getting so complicated in so many ways, and we've been being pushed in so many different directions. It's easy to get confused or stuck in a pattern, and the shifter shots, like the nerve shifter, break that pattern. How incredible is that? When you think about that right there. Breaking that pattern. Are we in halftime right now? We're in halftime before we make the shot. You guys, you want to do the robot with me? That's not the robot. That's not the robot. Get it right. That's not the robot. We're doing the talking robot. You guys can do a better one? Break dance. All right, so let's go, you guys. We're out of the halftime right now. If robots will cut through the vagus nerves, why aren't regular surgeons already cutting them? Regular surgeons are already cutting them, but the problem is with regular surgeons already accidentally cut a lot of things in people. But the regular surgeon is looking at the vagus nerve but doesn't know it's a different length than somebody else's. But what happens is they dial in the robots, how the body's built, and the robot accidentally cuts through because they can never calculate each person. Each person's vagus nerve is a different length, but an individual surgeon opens you up and sees the vagus nerve, not realizing it's a different length, but he sees it. But yes, he can still accidentally cut it because surgeons accidentally cut everything. All right, you guys, we're out of our halftime intermission. So we're in the, let's make the shifter shot right here. We're day 9 if you just got in here. How cool is that? I'm pumped about the day 9. MV Doom, I didn't expect it, but I think this shot might be the most important one for me. It's clearing so much pain. That's why I do what I do, because if I can give you pain relief with SOC's information, it means everything. Christine says, just ordered the MM1500. Gray is sold out. I got the blue. I love the blue one. I have the blue and gray one. The blue and kind of like silver gray one. I love the blue one. It's incredible. All right. Let's get into it a little bit. Let's start with the lime. Let's peel it. So I'm peeling the lime right now, as you can see. So it says quarter lime peeled. So now if your lime is not that juicy, use a little bit more. If your lime is really juicy, you might use just your quarter. If your lime is huge, like you got a big lime, you can like gauge that as well. They don't have to be precision perfect, but you want to get close to it. So I'm going to do a quarter of a lime right here peeled. Getting my ingredients ready. All right. So we got the lime. I got a quarter of a lime peeled right here. Quarter cup tightly packed spinach. Let's get you in there. So quarter cup tightly packed. That's about it right there. If I was to pack that in. All right. So now we need a quarter cup roughly chopped kale. Get a quarter cup going. Okay. Now, you know, I've measured a billion times because obviously I've made these. So I got a really good idea with my hands of what that is. Plus I also have a voice talking to me. Quarter cup tightly packed or roughly chopped lettuce is next. Try to get any lettuce that you like or whatever. I mean, honestly, butter leaf I like. So I'm doing butter leaf. I love it for that. Green leaf is fine. Quarter cup tightly packed cilantro is next. So that's about that right there for quarter cup. Got that in here. Quarter cup tightly packed parsley. 2 raw medium asparagus stalks. That's kind of a smaller one. I'm going to go with a medium right there. There you are. Now you can call them spears, stalks. I might go with this one. There you go. Shoots. Awesome. And then a half a stalk of celery. Now, okay, let's get this straight. I see some of you guys, social media, have been, when you're thinking like half a stalk of celery, I see some of you guys are using half of a whole bunch of celery. So, say you got a bunch of celery. Instead of like taking one stalk off, breaking it in half like you're supposed to, and running it through, you're doing a whole half a bunch. That's not going to work. So you have to go with a half a stalk. A half a stalk is 1. Really important to know. Okay, we got it. Incredible. I love how quiet that juicer is too. All right. How dry that pulp is. That's where you save money right there. Incredible. This is a nerve shifter, and I can use a nerve shifter. I get nervous sometimes when I come on here and I go live. This is not pre-recorded. I can make a terrible mistake by saying a bad word. I might accidentally swear. So I'm nervous when I go live. So I would like the nerve shifter. Indeed. I'm really excited about this. The nerve shifter hits me on the first sip. Monica says, this is an amazing shot. Face pain gone in 10 minutes. Oh yeah. I got the tingles. I got the tingles from the first sip. Second sip. Smooth. Third sip. This is what I needed today. I needed this today. Give it time to just give it a second. Give it a minute. It's instant. Bartender, give me another. Please. Why, thank you. You know, this is an incredible shifter shot. I remember when Spirit of Compassion gave me this one. Wrote it all down. You know what I did? 5 in the morning, I ran into the kitchen. I got everything I needed. I just made it. And I remember when I took that first sip, it did the same thing to me. It puts a smile on my face. It's going to the brain fast. Why does your face pain go away in 10 minutes? Because the nerve shifter goes into the neurons where the brainstem is, and it hits those cranial nerves. And it's really a miracle. It's a miracle. These books are the greatest books of all time. Spread the word. They are. And you can be proud that you're actually straight up being truthful, because these are the greatest books of all time. It's undeniable when you read them and what you see in them and the miracles that are in these books. They're the greatest books in health history. I can judge these books. And I've known that the medical medium books are all incredible books and the best health books that we have in history. But I've never said that these two, like, this is different, or these are the greatest books in health history right now that were released. Because it was the next level. And of course, all the medical medium books have saved lives, and they're all next level, and they're all frontier information, advanced science and against science and research, advanced far above it. But the point is that these books are the greatest books of all time. You'll know. You can be the judge yourself when you get the books. You guys, have you ever tried the brain shots? Have you tried any of them? Have you tried this one just now? Let me know what you're feeling. What were your results? What did you experience? Please share your story. Maybe a reel, a post, or a story. Tag at Medical Medium, hashtag Medical Medium, so I could see them and I can repost them. You name it. Keep an eye on medicalmedium.com, my website. I am enhancing it every day. It is an incredible place to be, and it's free. It's all free. And that's the way it should be. No subscription fees, no paywalls, no nothing. You go there, you get information to heal for your friends and family and the people that you love and care about. And leave some reviews about the books on Amazon.com if you can. This way people can find their way and they see these reviews and it matters. People make decisions, and I can't tell you, every time the trolls come in and try to hit the books on the 1 stars, and then people come in and they go, well, I'm not sure about that medical medium. I'm not sure about his Brain Saver book because this 1 star called him, a putz, and says he's just ugly and stupid and everything else. And I don't think I want to get the book now. Well, you just lost your chance to heal You're going to see another 10 doctors, and maybe 10 years later, you'll come back to the books. But the point is the reviews help so people can find their way if you like the books. If you like the books. And how do you clean your book? They come dirty sometimes through Amazon because on the Amazon conveyor belt, they get thrown on the conveyor belt. The conveyor belts are greasy. So your brand new pristine books, depending on what warehouse or where, could have a smudge on it. Take a damp washcloth, put a little soap on there and clean it off. Incredible, right? And look out for imposters. They're imposters. Look out for the imposters. They act like me. They have my profile. They have a picture of me. They say I'm doing consultations when I don't. And they go and they ask you for stuff and money and everything else. Look out for those guys. You guys, I'm doing private, or what I call private, on Telegram because, hey, it feels that way. It's like crazy when I do the Telegram, like exclusive Telegram messages. It's really intimate. It's really like close. It's different. It catches me at a different part of the day. It catches me where I'm in this wind down moment, right? Before I get revved up again for the night to work some more. There's this little spot where I actually calm down. I'll do one of the shots, the brain shots. Like right now I'm going to do nerve shifter today. So it's 3 today. So I'll do that. And all of a sudden I calm down. I'm winding down a little bit. It's a certain part at the end of the day. And then I get on Telegram for those exclusive messages. And it's heart to heart. I read out of the books, talk about some fun stuff. And I've been really loving that because it's a great to have that connection with you guys. So that's like almost every day. Look out for Telegram on there, right? Check out the website, medicalmeme.com, like I said. And check out the MM1500. Tell people about it. You guys know I work with them. I fully endorse them because of the fact that it's that good, slow masticating cold press juicer. Saves people money. It's juicing more. The pulp is dry. The other juicers don't do that. Even if they say they do, they actually don't. That's the game played. It's a dog-eat-dog world. That's what it is. And they come in and they just take advantage of people and they lie. It's a dog-eat-dog world. So yeah, the question there, can't you have a phone call or you can answer emails so you can personally help? The list of people that were trying to reach me for help reached into the millions many years ago. A lottery system that we had many years ago, the whole thing was just sad. I could not reach that many people. Millions of sick people around the world. My doctor friends and many other people through the years said, AW, when are you going to write the books? Spirit of Compassion wanted me to start writing the books over 20 plus years ago. The situation in life didn't lead me to be able to write them over 20, 25 years ago because I was busy helping out people by the thousands one-on-one, 7 days a week. And what happened was too many people needed my help and I could not keep up with it. It was virtually impossible. 7 days a week for years, no vacation ever for decades, including on call throughout the middle of the night for emergencies, and emergency line for doctors to reach me in the middle of the night. I didn't sleep for decades. I worked very hard, and Spirit of Compassion said, it's time to get the information to the world so millions can receive that information in the books so they don't need a consultation, and so they can educate their doctors themselves, become their own experts, and work on their healing process and have access to these miracle tools, which is happening. So I hope that answers the question. The books are one book, so you have to get both, but it's 2 books. See? It was one book originally, and the publisher couldn't publish it, or they couldn't put it out there and print it, and so it had to be split in 2. It's 2 massive books, 600 pages. There's 12 books in both books, meaning 6 books and 6 books, 12 books worth. It's packed and jammed. I wrote it mostly in 1 year, and I did 20-hour days, and they are done and in your hands. Incredible. Anyway, I do free lives. I do free podcasts, free information on the website. Everything's free. You can become your expert for free. You can get the books in the library for free. That's how it should be, because the chronically ill, most everybody who's chronically sick doesn't have a lot of money. I want free wherever we can, because it's the mission to get people better. I could put a paywall in front of everything I do. Everything. And you can get real creative with paywalls and subscriptions and all that. Real creative. And we can do merchandise, and creative paywalls left and right. And no one will have access to the medical meme information unless they pay, whether they like me or not. We won't do that. Nope. In fact, what you'll notice on my YouTubes, there's no commercials and advertisers before you watch a YouTube. What you'll notice in front of my podcast at Apple Podcast, you'll notice there's no commercials and advertisers in front of my podcasts. So even with all that said and done, we're the only podcast at the level that we are, because it's a #1 podcast. There's no advertisers and commercials in front of it. And it's very special. I pay out of pocket to do my podcast. I pay out of my pocket to do everything. That's the mission. And the books cost a lot of money to print and ship around the world so people have access to them. And so that's why there is a fee for the book, unless you want to go to the library and get it for free. And someone said, hey, why don't you just put a PDF on your website? Well, then someone in a bookstore is not going to be able to see that PDF, and somebody who's in the library is not going to be able to see it, and someone who's looking for the book's not going to be able to see it. The books are shipped around the world, and they're going to be in all the countries in the world. Medical meme books are in almost every country in the world now, around the planet. Just giving you guys the mission and a little bit about it. It's about helping many more people and many more people. And just where you don't have to rely on the internet too, because the internet could go bye-bye for everybody. That's how the world works. So, and then you got this, and you can protect yourself and heal. You guys, this has been incredible. This has been day 9. We did the nerve shifter. Tomorrow's day 10. Get ready. Tomorrow's the last day of the Medical Medium Brain Shot Therapy Cleanse Challenge. Tomorrow is it. And that's it. We completed 10 days. I hope you guys also do it past those 10 days. You never know. You guys might. They're incredible tools for healing. But I'm excited. Tomorrow is the Dream Shifter. Are you ready for the Dream Shifter? What kind of dreams are you having? Let's do a robot. What kind of dreams are you guys having? Did you do the Dream Shifter yet? Have you tried it? The Dream Shifter is going to blow your mind tomorrow. I'm going to do 3 of them tomorrow. It's going to be incredible. Melvin says, love the books. Love you too. The Dream Shifter. What kind of dreams are you going to have when you guys do the Dream Shifter? Do you guys want to find answers in your dreams? Do you want to soul search through your dreams? Well, the Dream Shifter, Spirit of Compassion told me, creates that. And that's tomorrow. It's day 10. It's going to be mind-blowing. You won't be disappointed, okay? It's going to be amazing. When you do that Dream Shifter, this nerve shifter is making me feel so good. Ah, it's incredible. Tomorrow's Dream Shifter. The nerve shifter's got me going. It's incredible. Amazing, you guys. Incredible. Love you guys. You love the Dream Shifter, Erica? Amazing. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait. Signing off. Bartender, give me another.